necessarily, I'm sure, whether or not Chilcott are completely dumb about the map, or do they actually have an idea. But I don't really think the map is going to play a part, especially with the way Chilcott do play. I think it's going to be the agent composition, it's going to be their pure skill sets, and if they do want to actually win the next map, they can potentially do so as well.
Absolutely. Agree with you there. Crowd being their own pickup, the agent compositions maybe heavily screwing in their favor. I have no idea what's out of the bed Chillcord woke up on, because they're not really looking like their usual selves. They're making a lot of mistakes, and their agent compositions just didn't really reflect that now, did it? Helev didn't really have the performance that we expected from him either. They had a good start, but they just couldn't really keep up that momentum throughout the rest of the game. And I'm pretty sure as soon as we see the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be able to get a better picture of that, because the entirety of Asterisk, they just kept getting better and better throughout the entire game. And generally, this doesn't really happen to Asterisk. They start off well, and then they slow down right at the very end. That's the general way that Asterisk play. But this time around, it's a complete 180, because they didn't need Antidote in a lot of those rounds to give them that reality check. They did it themselves, and to do it in such a fashion, up against a double sentinel composition, mind you, they had a harder time on the defensive side when it was Chillcord going on the attack, in comparison to them being on the opposite end of this. It is insanity, ladies and gentlemen, to say something like this. But as we are going to be talking a little bit more about the things that are a little bit too insane, you should also check out the links down below the description, also the pinned comment on the side, to check out the insane deals that Flipkart have in store for you back there, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to, of course, the incredible deals on Intel Core Power Gaming laptops, make sure to check out the Build Your Dream Setup Challenge as well. You can win gaming products of up to 1.5 lakh INR if you build your own dream setup. Flipkart is bringing the contest for you all to celebrate the Intel Gamer Days. You can enter by following 3 simple steps, creating your own public.
Actually did so, and both of them, in fact, Lil Boy, this lad, what a couple of rounds for this team, to be honest.
The last, and he's going to be able to catch it out from a 4v3, a win coming in for the members of Chillcord. What was this aim, Helev? To have that sixth sense to just turn around, catch out Kibon like that, get that plant out, and Venka not cracking under the pressure, utilizing the gate crash, rendezvous with his teammate, and get into the better positions like that. Chillcord just won out this round in perfect tandem with each other. This was a necessity for them, because this first round has now set the pace for this entire game.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm just waiting for that graphic to actually get flipped up, because I'm tripping on it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do have to get yourself performances like this, do make sure you actually check out the links in the description, because Flipkart is actually providing us some amazing discounts, and you can actually upgrade your existing setups with some amazing Intel Core powered gaming laptops, which only start at 52,990. Of course, it can go higher up if you want more performances. Check things out on Flipkart, because amazing discounts are in the description. But we start things off with Asterisk flying that kill on towards Helev. It seems like almost a revenge pick from that last round. All the defenders, the majority of them at least, on towards the A side. Meanwhile, it's just Risen who is trying to anchor down on towards the B side. Meanwhile, mid has been left all by itself on the back of that cyber camp. Not the best of utility, but at least you get some sort of information. Ryzen up against DC, Shock Darts exchange. The smoke does come true, but Asterisk, I want to know what their plans are, because it seems like they were peeking in through shot, but Venka finds that opportunity, gets a kill with that Marshall, and he falls back.
How deep did he actually swing across from A main? Wait a minute, the Cypher wasn't even holding down on that angle. A little bit risky. Somehow the members of Asterisk, they've garnered a lot of respect here. Even with the weaker weapons, you can tell that Chillcord, they're slowly going in for that lurk up. Risen's position could be revealed for that fight. The classic right click just doesn't land, and Coley instead is going to be the one to find that kill. For now, the members of Asterisk will beeline sprint towards that B side to try and go in for a retake to mount something here. But the fact that Risen's position was snipped out so early and Chillcord got that perfect read, this B-side retake is just not going to be any easier. They don't really have the weapons to break into any of these fights, and if they do try to run in together, They're just giving away ult points for free. I'm pretty sure that they're just talking about dying to the spike together right now. And maybe catching out a couple of the members of Chillcord as they're exiting out.
Decided to give you a choice of something you won't want to miss. One of two unique limited edition.
DC, of course, has the ghost pretty quick on the trigger, finds a couple of players. But little boy is going to trade him out. He's going to give his life to the spike. And ladies and gentlemen, Chillcord, of course, the automatic second round after the first. 2-0 up in this grand finals. Now, it was always certain aggressive. We knew that Chillcord would quite fortunately or unfortunately have an easy time inside of this lobby, but we still cannot take away the chances from Asterisk, because we've seen that in the past, especially up against the Rat Syndicate, that this team can come back from anything, to be honest.
I need to see where they go with this one. For now, though, Techno, first in line for this hit, is already trying to work his way up as far as he possibly can for it. Scully now. For the back line, they have to worry about this hit already. Little boy does take the first one. Yash is going to go and find the second. The stronger weapons working wonders for them. The trade's not going in their favor as Chillcord falling one by one, showing signs that they will have problems when the buys are a necessity for the opposition. But they count out the members of Chillcord, but down even in a 3 versus 5 situation, they're still highly experienced players just waiting to find that advantage. Players to be spotted, no real soft wall to opt to go in for any form of spam has risen. Now towards the back of side, I like the discipline coming out from them. They don't want to give any form of man advantage away to the opponents here. The B side will be rushed onto, but the thing is, the positions are tough to break in. Risen's positions are even more perfect. They do get the shots, but Caramel alive and kicking to keep the ball rolling in their court. Asterisk 1-2 on the scoreline. A beautiful round indeed coming out from them as Chillcord. They just didn't really have what it took to try and get those first couple of frags opened.
Like it. Goodbye round. Asterisk come roaring back now. This is something which we did not get to see against the Rat Syndicate. Now Asterisk know that Chillcord against them, I think the power-up stats are quite heavily against their favor. Chillcord, if you just look at pure technicality, they're just a much better complicated outfit. But Asterisk understand the need of not really giving them a massive lead at the start of the game itself. They will have to maintain that score sheet as much as they possibly can towards in their favor. The flash does come through. Hellf will be pushed back from that angle. Repeaks it, but there is nobody following up on it. I like the fact that they are pushing in from multiple directions. Caramel from the backlines will encounter Venka, but Techno is there. And we've always talked about this combination, Techno and Venka, both of them being there, just absolute cold-hearted murderers on the server, ladies and gentlemen. 3v3 as of yet, as Asterisk do decide to come in from multiple angles, but they are yet to find the opening on towards the site. And I love Chillcord's positioning, especially Techno on towards that CT link. I think that is going to be almost invincible for anybody. Just try and stop him from there.
Yikes. This could have just gone from bad to worse because Techno is still alive and kicking to do win for more. 2v2 now as the players need to try and break through these defensive lines. DC's positions revealed, but Coley still alive and kicking. Time taken away. He needs to go in for the hit fast. Cabone just cannot find it. Coley playing the mind games here over from the sidelines, and it's gonna be him to put the final bullet into the skull of Cabone. Beautiful round coming through from the members of Chillcord here. But good God, was this one expensive. Asterisk, they did trade things out down to the wire, but they were just not fast enough to come in for that rotation. The fact that Techno got a kill from that alleyway just made things so much more difficult for them to take this fight on. He wasted enough time for his teammates to just hold from inside of the side, and Coley, the individual brilliance that he has when it comes down to these 1v1s, knows no bounds. But for Asterisk, another round where they do have to go in for a bit of an eagle here. need to stabilize to the slightest of degrees. But look at the Blaze Storm coming in from Yash towards the mid side. Maybe, just maybe, if he finds the opening fight and possibly a kill, the guns that they're able to pick up will be the turning point for them.
Potentially. A little bit of trade going on towards mid, ladies and gentlemen. Caramel peeking around with the chef. But where are these players pushing out from? Asterisk, this is so weird. He's in. Long time we've seen Asterisk just holding on to sites. Now they're pushing past mid, ladies and gentlemen. And Little Boy with those little taps from the chef, just being so good. The smoke is brilliant as well. Needs to get away to safety, and Techno will also reinitiate the fight. It seems like Asterisk, they've not just resumed what they started, but they've gotten themselves some weapons to work with as well. Techno knows the cyber cam was well placed. Comes in to stop that. Yes, of course he's going to pick up those weapons, right? From in toward that short region. Astra this time. Little Boy, he's in.
Valorant celebrates its birthday, a special milestone indeed. Thank you, as always, dear players, our amazing community, for staying with us through every challenge all this time. In honor of this event that brings us all together,
Little Boy drops down and Techno falls. Meanwhile, the diffuse still being stuck. It's half. DC versus Keybon. Whoever spots him first. Keybon with the Vandal point success. Is Asterisk get their second round on board? This is good stuff coming in from them.
Oh, goddammit, look, come on, look behind you. It was gonna say how many more rounds you needed to win for this first half. Goddammit. This Vandal has a really good finisher. I don't know why people hate on it so much, but for the members of Asterisk, one more round for them to take here onto the scoreboard, 2-3, as the champions of this story could just be crowned anytime, ladies and gentlemen. You always do have to consider the odds that these teams are, or is going to be the one to get bowed out here and just walk away with one like INR to their name. So both teams, they're not yet ready to give up, and you can tell that Asterisk have really done their homework for this. They've done the prep work that they need. They understand what Chillcore generally like to do here, especially with that Euro, but even when you have all of the answers, it's never going to be that simple. The execution's perfect from their side, but Risen immediately with the spam just comes alive here. Benka's going to be able to shut down one at the bare minimum. Flash comes through. They're still going to be able to find the fight. Beautiful utilization of the Annihilation to get the first initial catch. Helef is just waiting for the weapon now to come into his hands. Benka does find one more. Still alive and kicking to go in for more here. Little Boy over towards the corner, but still, poor old Helef, he couldn't really get the weapon. It was just thrown over to the opposite side in the hands of Little Boy. And now, Helef, he's stuck with just a classic. How do you even want to play this?
Little Boy has been so crucial in these 1v1 encounters, right? He's been so clinical, especially when he comes down to aiming in the final third of the map, of the round itself. LF does retreat the Vandal now, but on 22 HP, I feel like for this man, it's a little too risky to try and
so much about timing.
Look at that, look at that, look at that. He does check in towards CT, finds no one, moves in back towards the site, and is going to plant in as soon as the sound cue comes in. I think for Lil Boy, it's going to be important to utilize his smokes really well. He's got two of them. He can use those smokes to find a deeper entry onto the site and then try and potentially get the better of Helef. Because the only place he's going to be playing it from is going to be the boathouse, but does he know the angles? Little Boy tiptoeing his way onto the side, needs to drop down. This is where the sound cues get funny. But the shorty, they don't expect him to bring out that. Helef, of course, is going to fall. Asterisk. What a couple of rounds for this lad. What a couple of rounds for this team, to be honest. Little Boy just clutching on two back-to-back rounds for his team to give them a 3-3 scoreline.
This would not have been possible if Little Boy didn't have a shorty in his hand for that. The fact that he dropped down, had the shorty ready, knowing that Helef was low on HP, was a very risky fight to take, but for the members of Asterisk, these kind of risks are a necessity for them to win. Chillcore are never going to be making things easy, and mind you, that last round was a thrifty. Only Venka bought a weapon into this round. So the fact that they even got it to a 1v1, it's an astounding feat. They know the position of little boy here. A little bit too, I would say, ambitious here from him. It's hella. He's going to be able to find the catch over onto one. The dimensional drift to find all of the value. Paranoia is perfect to go in for the first kill. He's looking for more. Look at Benka, ladies and gentlemen. The aim of this €1 just tearing up the map off Ascent. This is what you want to see. The new Vandal in his hand, glowing bright. Showcasing that he is the server admin. Is now Asterisk. Down to the last Karamo. The man, the myth, the legend, the man who has time in and time out proven that he is the X Factor for every squad that he plays for. But here in this 4 versus 1, reality is a lot more bittersweet.
Yeah, but he can still clutch this out if he does decide to actually use his neural theft, but I think he's better off actually saving that weapon. It was an abomination from the side of Venka, to be honest, and you give this man an opportunity to, snatch things away from you. That's like daylight robbery. Can't let this man take away 1v1 duels all the time because he's just good. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the way Chillcord are winning rounds. Look at the way Asterisk are winning rounds. And I think all of that was established already, especially from the pre-game as well. It's just about how well can Asterisk keep up the fight, because we know, as a matter of fact, Chillcord will always be quite comfortable when they are on the winning side of things, but
Against each other, right? And they're still able to find so much value in these last couple of rounds. The way that the utility is being thrown behind one another as well. It's just that this type of coordination generally never happens unless the team has been playing together for years, and even then, it's a little bit sloppy. But for Chillcord, it feels like second nature, like as if this roster has been playing together since the dawn of time.
played competitive for a very long time. All of their players are seasoned veterans, seasoned pros. They are very well established as well, ladies and gentlemen, on the circuit. This time 3-4 the score line, but Ryzen right from the get-go does pull up the Hunter's Fury. Finds no one, the shotgun is there. Yash will be holding back on the back of that smoke, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, the rest of the lads from Chillcord causing a lot of hiccups on towards that A site. Majority of them are definitely going to fall back. 3 of them on towards mid. But look at this, Kohli still waiting for that overcommitment. And I like this. I like this patient game coming in from Chillcord as well, because they don't necessarily need to be using that, need to be doing that. But in spite of that, I feel like the amount of respect that they are paying to Asterisk, to giving in to their movements, is lovely. This time Venka on the outlaw, quite deep into enemy territory, trying to mark down their
This is
spawn.
such a good read.
This for sure is a good read, but where are they going ahead of it will be my question. Yes, for sure, Venka is looking for those up-and-coming kills, but will he be able to come back towards the A site will be my question.
It's gonna be interesting, not gonna be so easy. We're still keeping this alive. Asterisk has somehow managed to keep this alive, and Yash gets both of them. And Asterisk, this is why they have been so good, right, Salty? The comeback they have been showcasing. I mean, I have already said that they have been the dark horse. Nobody gave them a chance, right? We were talking about Chillcord and Rat Syndicate, the grand finals would be against these two teams, but Asterisk, from nowhere, they are here and they have a chance to close out a 2-0 in a 2-0 situation, and that too, starting this map with a good note.
Start the map on a good note for sure. Team Asterisk, they definitely are looking to build up on the back of it. Should potentially get themselves a second round as well. But Chilcott, what will be their plans? Are they moving in towards the B side? Are they potentially hitting mid? Look at Asterisk, by the way. They're so eager to actually take those fights. Yes, for sure, they've got the better weaponry to deal against, but it does not feel like Asterisk have a hint of doubts, a hint of hesitation on whether or not they want to initiate these fights. Chilcott, mind you, they are on pistols, they are on classics. Not really the ideal weaponry to try and get themselves their round, but at least they can get the spike planted, and that is one of the reasons why they are crawling in from the A main territory, which is now currently being smoked off. But how do they breach past it is the question. They do have a couple of flashes, but Venka moves in without any of that. Smokes coming through, a little bit of fade utility being involved as well, and the A side, ladies and gentlemen, has been breached. Keyboard, in spite of having that spec'd up, will be falling back a little bit, allowing the spike to get planted. But look at the reinforcements coming in from the back lines. Ryzen already gets a kill with the Stinger, and now potentially stinging the opposition even more. The rest of the two players are also going to step in. The Omens come face to face against each other, and Kohli falls. Venka, as usual, on the Sheriff. Is going to find Caramel Ryzen. Finally, we do get to see this lad, a triple kill with the Stinger and Team Asterisk. Second round on board. Something which we did anticipate, didn't we, Oro?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, after they won the first round, of course, second round is something where you want the other team, who is not on a good buy. Of course, were on an eco, to start good, but that didn't happen. With that being said, the only thing which was good for on Chilcott's part was that they got the plant over there, which would definitely give them some credits. Now is an important round for Chilcott. This is their full buy round. They need to convert this. If they lose out on this, because they are on a bonus, and plus there will be a situation where the economy will shatter, Saltian, and I think Chilcott would not want that to happen. Because of this double controller setup, I think, this mid control, what Asterisk has been showing, this time they have left out mid. Allowing Chilcott to second guess their thoughts, but then they're coming back. Bond gets one trade, took down Venka over there. Kohli had the Vandal over there. This time, no mistakes made. Keyboard got taken down. But only two players left. They would want to make some damage. Okay, Caramel finds one, but Caramel needs to be very careful. If there is a slight possibility of Asterisk winning this round, he needs to stay alive. He is alive, but he's alone. He needs his positioning. Tries to give him some damage. Did manage to tag him, but interestingly, he did not want to take it head on. Spike has been planted towards A. This is not going to be easy. What do you think? This 1v3 for Caramel.
Almost impossible, to be honest. Spike has been planted, needs to save up that weapon as well. Caramel knows if he does manage to fall the next round, economy is not going to be on their side. It wasn't really on their side in this one as well. LF, Techno all standing in front of him, and of course Kohli as well, who will manage to find the kill. Triple for Kohli in this round. Chilcott, of course, were expected to come out on top in the third one. So basic instances happening inside of this map, ladies and gentlemen, so far. Oro, have a look at this. The first pistol round going to Asterisk. Again, a repeat telecast of what happened in the first map. Second round automatically do get because of that financial aid that the Valorant does provide you. And then, of course, the third round, the losing team comes back with their full weaponry and they themselves get the round for themselves. So it's been 3 rounds going according to the script, but this is when scripts can potentially change. The 4th round, ladies and gentlemen, so crucial, where Yash finds 2 kills in the midst of nothing. Manages to connect those headshots through the smoke, and those 2 players are gonna fall, but not just fall on the floor, they're gonna go to the depth of hell.
I mean, they are placing that Viper wall, but then Asterisk has that Omen Dark cover, DC, wanting to walk up, but Ryzen is watching that angle. We see, will he check that? He checks and he gets that pick onto him. Caramel, but he took down Kohli over there. They don't have any control, and if you peek, my friend, of course, that was expected. Helef got punished. We see spots. Then spotting is not gonna help. He needs to get 3 more. Just got 1. Needs to check the player right in the corner. Caramel was expecting the peak, and he was holding pretty solid. Gets that round. Asterisk, sorry, I mean the way they are utilizing the Omen Dark cover to get deep mid control, and Yash is just going in to get those early picks, which is expected from him, and his teammates are supporting him. The utilities are there to create those spaces, and this is why the double controller setup is so needy in a map like this, where you said that there are too many corners to be checked. There are mid-range fights that can be taken, and this is where I think they have created a difference. With that being said, Chilcott has a double controller setup themselves as well, but they need those rounds before the swap happens. Kibon is expecting players to come in. There's a one-way created through this Viper Poison Cloud. The difference has been made. Techno has found Ryzen over there, but Yash somehow again manages to get 2 with him. Leeboy strikes. And Kibon just comes in to clean up Helef. The 4th round came in for Asterisk. It looks like they're just falling like dominoes at this point of time.
Four to one, the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, as well as Oro. I like what Asterisk have been bringing on the plate so far as of yet. Ryzen and Keyboard yet to perform to the best of their capabilities, but it looks good when it's Lil Boy and Yash who are holding the rim, 7 frags and 6 frags respectively. 3 ultimates also on the side of Asterisk can get activated. You've got the overdrive, the Viper Spit, and from the shadows. Similar things can actually be said from the side of Chilcott as well. Look at that. The dimensional drift just got activated, and so does the Steel Garden. So the Steel Garden can actually be one of the best friends for Chilcott while they are entering the site. But a very slow start to the 6th round, ladies and gentlemen.
No, will not want to push the smoke this time. I mean, Venka. We are missing him on this map. He has not yet popped up. Okay, finally uses his dimensional drift. Moves towards A. The Nightfall being committed towards A link and A yard being covered. DC finds 1. Now Venka. What is gonna do? Oh, wait. He went back towards attacker spawn, just giving his teammates the information. The entry has been given. They would want to plant the spike now. But they star cover, and Keyboard comes in and takes down Techno. Asterisk. They still have the Viper Spit in their kitty. Oh, no. Never mind. He got taken down by Kohli. Yash still standing. Caramel, they're coming from backlines for a backstab. The question is, will these players expect him? They are watching this angle, and Venka this time, making no mistake, punishes Caramel. The 2nd round comes up for Chilcott. So finally, some retaliation being shown. All the ultimates, those were activated from Chilcott's side. I mean, value were created. So that's good.
For the 2, for the 2, for the 2, for the 2. Well, Asterisk. Will you keep giving away rounds, or will Chilcott make a comeback this time? We always know that you give Chilcott an inch, they're gonna take a mile away from you, but this time it seems like inside of the Vipers, but it was not a good idea from Venka to actually battle that shotguns at the face. Lil Boy will find the connection, this time will exchange into the Vandal, and now he's got so much control inside his greenish territory. Techno, though, once again will find Keybon. Instant trade coming through. 4v3. Asterisk, all ultimates in position. They can potentially use the overdrive and clean up the mid territory for themselves. All 3 players lined up, but this time Helef seems like the time that Caramel gave him did not really work to fruition. Yash needs to come in and save the rest of his comrades, but somehow Chilcot are just moving past the defenses. They are getting themselves on towards the B site where there is a little boy waiting. But does his Viper Spit have enough control? Does his Viper Spit have enough coverage? Is the question. On towards the A side. Now the players are gonna rush in towards the B. Sound cues being given out. Lil Boy will know that it is his site where the spike has been planted. All of these players did manage to come in from the mid territory. But when does he decide to peek out is a question. All of them joining him on this mission. Yash does get spotted, but the paranoia is going to divert him from taking that entry. Not a lot of time left, or it seems like this is when they will need to start the party. And already Kohli is in enemy territory. A little bit of futility coming in from the Vice as well, but not finding anyone. Overdrive from Yash coming through. Helef finds a little bit of connection. Ryzen with the classic. The right click does work, but it seems like Chilcot's final play. DC as usual has been holding the anchor, holding the mantle till their last breath. Wonderful stuff, to be honest. That was a good round. That was a good, well fought round. Third round on board for the likes of Chilcot, but Asterix, they're slowly losing their grip on their game, it seems like.
As you said, if you give them an inch, they can take the game miles away from you. And very well, Antidote wanting to take a timeout here. I mean, I was initially doubting why Venka wanted to push in towards that Viper Spit. When he had, the Horn to come in, or he could have used his fake out, or the both could have been used. He could have found better, or maybe found himself in a better spot of taking that fight. But then that did not happen. But DC on the other end, I mean, pretty perfectly planned and timed the ultimate, the Steel Garden, because of which their weaponries were taken away. And the overdrive came in for the save, but then Helef was placed perfectly to take him down. I mean, the way Chilcot executed the round was so good, utility usage to its best, and the timing was just icing on the cake. To be honest, Chilcot still has two ultimates. They have the Viper Spit activated, they have From the Shadows, and on the other end, to counter it, they only have the Steel Garden. Asterisk. How will they want to play it? Because they were getting those early round picks, which was, of course, helping them. But this time they're on an eco round. They don't have the proper weaponries to support. Like all of them wanting to push towards A main. Ryzen is controlling the A yard and the pocket area. There's one more player placed, of course, that is Yash. They're holding. Chilcot on the other end, taking things very slow. There still has been no movement, but Yash finds DC. Because there is a movement coming in from B. There's a B push coming in. All the three players are out. Just look at it. Players are coming for a backstab. And Yash has got that pick onto Techno because they expecting. Once DC got taken out, that was the Sentinel. You should have been watching your backlines, but nobody was doing so because three players were literally running into them. And they have almost messed up this round, Salty. Yeah. Oh my god. Boy.
It's always fine. At times they do tend to mess up the rounds. At times they do tend to miss up the rounds, but Asterisk, with the risks that they are taking, it for sure is paying off every single time. And majority of it has been Lil Boy and Yash. You look at the difference, right? The 7 frag difference between Ryzen and Yash. That is where majority of the difference that does lie. But it's completely fine as long as Asterisk do manage to find their teamwork set. At times they do tend to miss out on the timing of their push. But this time they for sure are going to hit home run. Because Venka, with that outlaw, is going to find the first frag. not Venka, rather it was Yash who's actually found Venka itself. So one of the stalwarts from the other team, the MVP of the last match, have been brought down, Oro.
Since I mean, he is their star player, Venka. Once he is taken out, it becomes so difficult for Chilcott to create those spaces. He is on that, oh goodness me, he got taken down. DC, and now Yash again strikes. Holy, finally finds Caramel, but then the damage has been done. You don't have the weaponries. Okay, Helef recovers the Phantom. Spike can be planted though. Yash is just waiting with that Outlaw for somebody to pop in. But then they have those ultimates. I'm sure that only Phantom Helef, can he do anything? He knows the positions. Will he jump down? He jumps down. He takes both of them. This was a surprise, and now things can change. Possibility is there, but Lee Boy, Helef, he just spots him to the corner of the eye. But then Kohli, of course, he didn't have the weaponry to take this fight. Ryzen was appropriately placed. He was coming for a backstab from main. And he takes down, but for a slight moment, Chilcott believed because Helef believed. But Lee Boy was the difference maker in the last round. He's holding his position calmly. He knew that somebody will come through his crosshairs, and that is what happened. And Asterisk, as you said, they are taking those risks, and those risks are paying off.
They will always pay off because I think Chilcott, they're not expecting such risks against them. Especially when you are facing a more of an underdog lineup in front of you. You don't expect them to take risk, you expect them to take your basic plays, your basic strats. But look at the way they're plunging onto battle every single time. And every single time this mid territory just becomes Kurukshetra from one of our epics. All 5 of them just standing tall in front of adversity is Chilcott. Their players do manage to tend to take the fall. There's the Odin set as well. Keep on looking to try and find the flank, potentially moving towards the A side. But players from Chilcott, they're not moving as of yet. The spike, though, does travel on towards the B side. Meanwhile, 3 players holding on to mid. There's a little bit of a seize action going on the A entrance territory. But Yash, the way this man has been diving into battles and giving Team Asterisk the risk to have that confidence to constantly push that trigger always up against the opposition, mind you, without any information, it has been brilliant so far. He once again will come face to face with the opposition, and this time Little Boy is going to find success. Controllers of the shot, baby, for Chilcott. They do manage to find themselves in some awkward positions of the site as Helef finds one of the players. The Little Boy has been taken down. DC will take the fall. And Helef too, being the final nail in the coffin. Team Asterisk are quite comfortably take themselves a second round on board this half. And it seems to be like it's not going to be their end of success inside of this half. Ladies and gentlemen, I think they might give themselves 1 or 2 more rounds. And if they do so, I think they are going to be well set for the next half.
Yep. 7-3. I mean, I was going to say that Chilcott still would want at least 1 more, if not 2. Scoreline what Chilcott is looking at currently. But then for that, they need to execute all those plannings. This isn't a goodbye for them. Ryzen gets 2 with that paranoia and the Nightfall now being committed. They will be slowed again. They are unable to find those openings, Salty. I mean, this is not how Chilcott plays. But then this has been so good. Oh, it's a complete shutdown. Complete flawless victory for Asterisk. And Kibon, of course, he has that Odin with him to support on this map with so many wall-bangable areas to just exploit situations. Gets a 3k. You know, the last time I saw Yash on Karod, he was struggling. But today he looks like a different player. He's much better, free-flowing, able to get those picks. His teammates are supporting him, which a Neon requires. Look at Kibon. He literally jumped down, and the mid control is there. Chilcord, they're wanting. They from the beginning of the word go on Corrode, they were trying to get that mid control, but they have not been given that mid control by Asterisk, which is why the plans have failed, Salty.
Oh, for sure their plans have failed. Venka this time will reach past the defenses, will find Yash, a little bit of damage being taken himself as well on 10 HP, this lad. Will he be able to survive is the question. Now, once again, you've got to give it to Ryzen for just holding that position back. He could have easily gotten in and plunged into the battle as well, looking to get the trade, but that is not the art of playing Valorant, ladies and gentlemen. Dimensional drift on Venka is there. A little bit of teleport action coming in from the controller as well. Venka steps out. 4v4 right now. Ryzen spots goalie, controller out of the game. Viper still exists. The little boy falls as Venka and his ruthlessness keeps on going forward. Chillcord will need to find a way to keep Venka alive. Meanwhile, Asterisk trying to cut down their losses. It's been Caramel who has done that for majority of the time, but with the Odin, does he have enough time and resources to find a way to come back? He can, of course, get the attention of the lads with those sprays, and from the backlines, it can be brutal. This is Caramel. He finds success on one, but fails to get the next one. Heleth, with the final nail in the coffin, prevents 9-3 being the reality. As Destiny strikes 8-4, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the second half, but Asterisk on a tremendous lead right now.
Yep. 8-4. Who would have expected this to happen, right, Salty? One map up, Asterisk sitting on the second map with an 8-4 swap. I mean, without jinxing things up, Asterisk and with them, Antidote would want this thing to continue. They would want to finish things up. In the past, they have messed up things on Corrode, but this time situations are different. So yeah, Asterisk would want to believe right now. They would want to believe, specifically if Yash is finding those sheriff shots again. He will be needed. But what has Venka planned this time? He has stepped out. Kibon is fighting, but Venka finds two before he gets taken out. Numbers in favor of Chilcord. There might be a peek again coming in from Helef. He was peeking from pockets though. Didn't find any value. But now's the important part, right? I mean, this is where, I mean, Asterisk would be tested, because they also have that similar kind of setup, which, you know, Asterisk was doing. And Kibon doesn't have HP right now. He has only 5 HP. And you cannot push in through these poison clouds and those walls. The DK, the HP loss is real, and I mean, it's so easy for you to be taken out. Let's see his Asterisk can beat all the odds. Okay, they know the positionings. Yash! DC comes around from Link and he takes down Yash. The only man is the Omen, who's coming from the back lines, and they know, they're expecting him. The spike is dropped, of course, he has nothing to do. He's spotted, he's almost got dinked over there. Will he find one more? Can he find? Okay, he finds one. Tries to do a right click. The haunt will come in, too many utils to deal with, and also the time. Paranoia being used, but it's gonna be very, very difficult. The dark cover also being utilized over here. Still trying to find a timing. Is all the players okay? He just ignores Helef. And he runs behind him. What will he do? Recovering a ghost. He tries, but then it's okay. Scoreline says 8-5.
Matter of fact, as soon as you get the first round on board, you automatically get yourself the next. This has been an amazing map so far. Chilcord just not giving up as of yet.